Hey guys, so I had planned to use this time originally to do corrections on the final quiz, but you guys actually did so well on that it did not make sense to do corrections on any of those, so good job on that. So I decided what we would do with this time is look at another assignment where we did have some more mistakes, which was the study guide. So I pulled 10 of the 20 questions from the study guide that had lower percentages, and those are the ones that we're going to look at today. So you can do corrections for the study guide, take a picture of your corrections and email those to me, and then I can go back in Canvas and update your score after you email me your corrections. So the first one we're going to look at is number 4. So it asks us to solve for x. If I look at these two angles, I know that they are alternate interior angles, which means that they are congruent or equal to each other. So I can set those two expressions equal to each other. X plus 139 equals 132. So to solve for x, we're going to subtract 139 from both sides. These are going to cancel. And then it looks like we are going to get a negative answer, which is fine. We're allowed to have negative answers for x. So the value of x is going to be -7. X equals -7. Okay, the next one where we had some trouble was number 6. It says to solve for x. If I look at these two angles, they are corresponding angles, which means that they are congruent. So I can set these two expressions equal to each other. 23x minus 5 equals 21x plus 5. So technically we could subtract the 23x from both sides or the 21x from both sides. I would prefer to not get negative numbers, so for that reason I'm going to choose to subtract the 21x from both sides. So I'm subtracting the smaller number. That's going to leave us with 2x minus 5 equals 5. My next step would be to add 5 to both sides. Those are going to cancel. Now we have 2x equals 10. Divide both sides by 2, and I'm just going to come over here to put the answer. 10 divided by 2 gives us 5. So the value of x is 5. Okay, next, number 7. So it says to find the bolded angle. So this angle right here is the one that's bolded. So they don't want just the value of x. They want the actual measurement of that entire angle. So these are consecutive interior angles. You can also call those same side interior angles. But the thing that I know about consecutive interior angles is that they have a sum of 180 degrees. So I can set up an equation, x plus 96 plus x plus 96 equals 180. These coefficients are understood to be 1, so 1x plus 1x is 2x. Then I can also add 96 plus 96, which gives us 192. A next step would be subtract 192 from both sides. Those are going to cancel. Then I have 2x equals -12. Divide both sides by 2. So x equals -6. Now again, the question is not asking for the value of x. They want the actual measurement. So now I need to go and plug that value back in. So x plus 96 would be -6 plus 96, which gives us 90 degrees. So that's one way that you could think about that one. Also, if I look at these two angles, they are represented by the exact same algebraic expression, x plus 96, which means they're congruent. So that means I have two angles that have to be the same thing, and they have to add up to equal 180. So you could also just do 180 divided by 2 and get 90 degrees. So that would be another option for that one. Okay, number 8. Again, they asked us to find the bolded angle, so they don't want just the value of x, they want the actual measurement. These are consecutive interior angles again, which means that they're going to add up to 180 degrees. So I can set up an equation, 20x plus 5 plus 24x minus 1 equals 180. I can combine my x terms here. 20x plus 24x gives us 44x. Then positive 5 minus 1 gives us positive 4. Okay, now I can go ahead and start solving. Subtract 4 from both sides. Those are going to cancel. And then on the right side, we have 176. Divide both sides by 44. And we get x equals 4. Now, that's not our final answer. That's just the value of x. Now we need to plug that answer into the expression 20x plus 5 to figure out the actual angle measurement. So we're going to do 20 times 4 plus 5. 20 times 4 is 80. 80 plus 5 is 85 degrees. So the measurement of this angle is 85 degrees. Also, you want to logically look at your answers and check and see, does the size of your answer seem reasonable? Well, it looks like this angle is just a little less than a right angle, so an answer of 85 degrees makes sense. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is number 9. So these two angles are corresponding angles, which means that they are congruent. So I can set up an equation and set them equal to each other. 6x equals 5x plus 10. Okay, first I can subtract 5x from both sides. So I'm left with 10 over here, and then this is 1x, or just x. So x equals 10. Now that's not our final answer. They want the measure of the bolded angle. So 6 times x, well, x is 10. So 6 times 10 gives us 60 degrees. Okay, number 10, it looks like these are consecutive interior angles, which means that they have a sum of 180 degrees. So I'm going to set up an equation based off of that fact. Sorry, it's not writing very well. X plus 109 plus x plus 89 equals 180. Now I can work on combining some like terms on the left side here. So 1x plus 1x gives us 2x. Then 109 plus 89 gives us 198. And we have 180 on this side. Next step would be subtract 198 from both sides. These are going to cancel. And then I'm left with 2x equals negative 18. My final step would be divide both sides by 2. So we have x equals negative 9. Now again, we don't want just the value of x, we want the actual angle measurement. So if they ask for the bolded one, that's this expression here, x plus 89. So if x is negative 9, we're going to do negative 9 plus 89, which gives us 80 degrees. Okay, and again, if you look at the size of that angle, it looks to be just a little less than 90 degrees, so the size of our answer makes sense. Okay, next, number 11. Now this one, we do actually want to solve for x in this one. So because of our triangle angle theorem, we know that the sum of these two angles is going to be equal to this exterior angle right here. So I can set up an equation. 30 plus 4x plus 2 is going to be equal to the measure of this exterior angle here, 8 plus 6x. Okay, the first thing that I could do is go ahead and add 30 plus 2 right here to get 32. So now this side I'm going to have 4x plus 32, and then on the other side we still have 8 plus 6x. Now again, I could choose either to subtract 4x from both sides or 6x from both sides, but I would prefer not to get a negative answer. So I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. Those are going to cancel. We have 32 on this side, and then 8 plus 6x minus 4x gives us 2x. Next step, subtract 8 from both sides. Okay. Then 32 minus 8 gives us 24. Divide both sides by 2, and we get, I'll come over here, x equals 12. Okay, and it doesn't ask for any specific angle measurement, so we're assuming that they just want the value of x, so x equals 12. So we're finished with that one. Okay, number 13 is a similar type problem to the previous one. We know that the sum of these two interior angles in the triangle is going to be equal to this exterior angle over here. So let's set up an equation to show that. 46. Now, it would be 46 plus -1 plus 8x, but instead of putting plus -1, I'm just going to go ahead and put -1. So 46 minus 1 plus 8x equals this exterior angle here, 18x plus 5. Now I can go ahead and subtract 46 minus 1, which gives us 45. Bring everything else down. Okay, next I'm going to subtract 8x from both sides. These will cancel. 18x minus 8x gives us 10x. Then we still have the plus 5. Next, we would subtract 5 from both sides. Then we have 10x equals 40. Divide both sides by 10, and we get x equals 4. So that's our final answer for number 13. Okay, next, number 17. Still similar to the previous two that we did, but for this one, they did actually ask us to find the measure of angle H, but in order to do that, we still need to first solve for x. So let's take care of that first. So I'm going to add the two interior angles, 89 plus 5x minus 7, and then that should be equal to this exterior angle, which is 14x plus 1. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is subtract 89 minus 7, which gives us 82. So I have 5x plus 82 equals 14x plus 1. Okay, next, we're going to subtract 5x from both sides. That gives us 9x plus 1 over here. And then 82, sorry, the 8 is not looking real great. So we have 82 equals 9x plus 1. Subtract 1 from both sides. 82 minus 1 gives us 81. Divide both sides by 9. So we get x equals 9. Now, we're not quite finished yet because they did ask us for the measure of angle H. So here's angle H right here, which is represented by 5x minus 7. So we're going to do 5 times 9 minus 7, so that would be 45 minus 9. I'm sorry, I wrote down the wrong number. 5x minus 7. This should be, let's erase this right here. Okay, this should be a 7. Sorry about that. So then we have 45 minus 7, which gives us 38 degrees. Okay, and again, we always want to look at our answers and make sure that size-wise they seem reasonable. So this is definitely an acute angle, so 38 degrees seems to make sense. Okay, last one. We know that the sum of the three angles inside a triangle are equal to 180 degrees. So we need to use that fact first to set up an equation. So I have 3x plus 4 plus 5x minus 4 plus 2x plus 10 equals 180. Okay. Now let's go ahead and add all of the x terms. So 3x plus 5x plus 2x gives us 10x. Okay, now let's look at these numbers to combine. Plus 4 minus 4, well, that's 0, so that cancels out. And then what's left over here is a positive 10. Okay, next, subtract 10 from both sides. Then we have 10x equals 170. Divide both sides by 10. So we have x equals 17. Well, we're almost finished. They asked for the measure of angle GHI. So GHI is this angle right here. 5x minus 4 is the expression that represents the measure of that one. So 5x minus 4. 5 times, we just figured out that x is 17. So 5 times 17 minus 4. 5 times 17 gives us 85, and then 85 minus 4 gives us 81 degrees. Okay, so those are the ones that were most commonly missed on the study guide. So if you'd like to improve your score on that, you can complete corrections, take a picture of your corrections, and then email them to me. Thanks, guys. Bye.